So now we're at the front of the building, or the northwest corner of the building, where we were talking about from the bucket. This is where the air conditioning units were, and this is where we assumed the offices would be at. When we talk about access to the building, this building is basically used for, it's a shipping depot basically, and so access for us shouldn't be a problem at all. Getting into the building shouldn't be a problem for us at all. Plenty of roll-up doors, plenty of man doors. Obviously this glass enclosure in the front of the building is not going to give us any problems getting into the building. So we shouldn't get tripped up or stalled up in any way getting into the building, the initial arriving companies. So we'll go in here and we'll see if our assumptions were correct on how we felt the building was laid out from the roof. We're inside the front door. Now we're in the office area. There's a sign that says offices, so we're basically in the right place. So our assumption from the bucket looking down on the building, where we saw the air conditioning units and the vent pipes, we assumed that that was offices. That's what this is. These are typically the way these are laid out in a warehouse. Generally it's in one corner or in the center of the building where the offices are at. Some of the characteristics are small cubicle type places or small offices with separate doors, and then we have a suspended ceiling. And the reason they have the suspended ceiling, keeps the cool air in. You don't have to air condition all 20 feet of this. So this makes perfect sense for what they're trying to do. So we're coming down the hallway out of the offices. We're gonna go ahead and head into the warehouse itself. So now we've entered the warehouse. If you want to take a look up here, you can see the suspended ceiling and all of the strapping and all the wire that suspends that ceiling from the roof above. Our assumption about the roof is that there were glue lam girders running east and west, which we have, which are held up by unprotected steel columns. Then we have lightweight parallel cord trusses running north and south, and then we have the purlins in between them. The reason that we would really classify this as lightweight is because look at the size of the gusset plates that are in the parallel cord trusses. This is not a very substantial roof by any means. Now, the sheeting on the roof was OSB, it's not plywood, and if you take a look up here at the skylight, you can see that our assumption when we looked at the roof, and I told you it kind of looks like a skeleton or ribs, is that the skylights were placed in between the parallel cord trusses. So that's a pretty good determining factor as to how you can navigate the roof and stay on the structural stability portions, or where the stability is on the roof. So the things you want to consider is that this roof is so large and the sheeting is OSB. If you have a significant contents fire or structural involvement in the roofing part of this building, you're not going to have a lot of time. The glues in the OSB will begin to deteriorate just under heat alone. So the roof is not a substantial roof to stand on. It won't feel very sturdy. It will feel a little bit spongy. You're spanning a huge distance, and you're not using a whole lot of real strong members to do it. So right out of the box, you're going to be a little bit leery about getting out on this big roof. We talked about the 2x4 purlins, so your depth of cut on your louver cuts, you're going to have to be real careful. This is a roof that you're going to have to sound continuously. You're going to have to stay on your parallel cord trusses or on your girders, and you're going to have to be real heads up about where you're walking and how you're navigating your course on the roof. Another thing that I wanted to pick up on real quick, or talk about real quick, was the fact that because this is a shipping depot, we have a ton of roll-up doors. So as far as you can see, we have roll-up doors. And when we talk about softening up the building, that's one of the functions of a ladder company. This is something that can be very effective for us. If you can get inside the man door or cut one of these doors and get them open, you should be able to just work your way down the line. These are just roll-up doors, just like at the fire station. You'll be able to work your way down, and on either side you'll see a slide latch. Put a little down pressure, pull your slide latch, roll your door up. What that does is it allows the smoke to enter. The downside is it allows oxygen to come in, but it also gives you light. And if you've got a lot of crews operating in this building, you're going to want to make sure that if they're in here far, 150 feet max is probably going to be the guideline. You're going to want to make sure that there's ways for them to get out and get out quickly. So you could just work your way down the line, opening each one of these doors, creating light, creating a natural way to ventilate the building, and that's an excellent way of keeping our crews safe and making sure that we're doing the work that we're supposed to be doing, softening up the building.